You had a chance and you didn't even write in a counterclaim. What a coward loser you are. What a coward loser you are, Denims. No counterclaim, no motion to dismiss. Fat L's, cringe, you lose, I win. So what happens now?
Yeah, you know what's coming up. Because Ethan just said it.
Lelouch Britannia commands you. Obey me, subjects! Obey me, world!
You lose, and I win. Not me. I'm not winning except for farming these motherfuckers. But anyway, sidebarring that, in the words of Ethan, yeah, Yoko and Soy Dub, same energy.
I just want to ask him if you've always been your pants.
No.
No.
They definitely lose. They all lose. They do. Unfortunate. Super. You already know what it is, baby. Fresh off the press, back on the pod. Because, yo, apparently, within the whole Denims Kaceytron Frogan malicious copyrights lawsuit, within them getting served as bad boy and within this whole debacle just happening, yeah, finally it's got to it that Denims and Kaceytron have responded to, you know, getting served. The lawsuit. Duh. As we all know. But within that, like, as we may know if you've been watching the vids, Miss Kaceytron done Shadow Wizard Money Gang, casted her spells. We love casting spells. Did all that, John, and finally found lawyers. But within that, she had got lawyers within California. She has 3, for as I do not know. She's summoning these Dremora Lords. And one of them is in California at the very least. Or I think 2 of them are. But within that, they're both on Frost LLP. Both Denims and Kaceytron have got the bull. His name is Benjamin Cassis. If you've been covering when we been watching Lust, you already know. So yeah, of course they responded both at the same time because they're both under the same lawyer bull, under the same law firm. So yeah, we're about to get into it and see what's going on with this jazz because we've been covering all of it, so we're gonna keep covering it. Let's not waste any more time. Trilly does indeed talk everything, does indeed yap everything every single time. Let's get right into it. You already know how we do every single time, baby. Shout out Ethan, Ela, the whole crew on the pod, and of course, the H to the fam. They officially responded to my lawsuit. It's bad. Denims Kaceytron. Of course, if you guys want to watch the OG video, down in the description, first link, sure to love it, of course. Like I said, Ethan, Ela, the whole crew on the pod, the fam, and we must get into this boy and see how they responded.
Welcome, guys. Another video. Today, we'll be discussing Denims and Kaceytron's response to my lawsuit, which was due on Friday of last week. They did respond, and I'm going to go over it for you guys now. And I'm just going to put it this way. This is just a total flawless victory for us. That's how I'm seeing it, and I'll explain why. So here's the filing. And I'm only going to show Denims because they have the same attorney, and Kaceytron's was nearly identical to Denims. So I'm just going to look at hers, and it represents both. So basically what you'll see if you scroll this is they're answering the complaint, and you're just going to see a lot of copy-paste. Defendant denies.
Denims hereby answers the complaint of plaintiff, what's the name, Ted Entertainment, which would be Ethan, and answer the complaint per one legal conclusion to which no response is required. Notwithstanding the foregoing, defendant lacks sufficient knowledge, information, and formal belief concerning the truth of factual allegations contained therein. On that basis, denies such allegations. Denies allegation paragraph 2 of complaint. Section 3, defendant lacks sufficient knowledge or information to form or concerning belief. Okay, so yeah, it basically is just all deny.
Denies. Paragraph 6 contains legal conclusions with no response is required. Lots of copy pasting. It's all very just formal, kind of saying as little as possible. Answer paragraph 9, defendant lacks sufficient knowledge or information to form a belief. Essentially just saying we can't say. This one says contains legal conclusions which no response is required. Just basically not saying anything. Number 16, they start to move on to defendant denies the allegations. Defendant denies the allegations. They copy pasting. Deny. That's the Hassan form. Look at all this. Look at this copy pasting. It's the same answer.
Hey man, what did Hassan say in other John? Deny, deflect, and then counterattack. Especially, if you know they got a hidden bias. But yeah, this bias isn't hidden because the real bias is on their side.
Sir, between 22 and fucking 40, is it the same? Between 22 and 45, which says answering paragraph whatever 32 in this case, defendant lacks sufficient.
Like it's the legitimate copy and paste. Like yeah, I'm looking at this. Yeah, basis denies such allegations. Basis denies such like yeah.
knowledge or information to form a belief concerning the truth of the factual allegations contained there within. On that basis, denies such allegations. So they copy pasted that monster of a claim, 22 to 24. This is essentially an exercise in saving money and cutting every corner possible and doing as little as possible, right? That's what's happening here. Continue on, more copy pasting. Paragraph 46 to 63 says identical things.
Paragraphs, 46 through all contains legal conclusion to which no response is required. Well, if you say so.
It just says.
Wait, what does this say? Defendant denies the allegations in paragraph 45 of the complaint. Further, defendant lacks sufficient knowledge of, lacks sufficient knowledge or information to form a belief concerning the truth of factual allegations contained therein against H3 Snark mods. Yet, y'all were so willing to throw them bulls under the bus.
Paragraph 46 contains legal conclusions to which no response is required. And they copy paste that. And then they move on to copy pasting here. 65 to 70, defendant denies the allegations. 71, defendant denies the allegations. So this is essentially what this continues to be. They really don't say anything in this. Everything is like, I don't know, we don't know. We can't, how can we conclude? We don't know. Just that.
Of course you don't know.
Repeated and copy pasted like 100 times. Here's when they have now the ability to set their case forth, to explain their defense. They have claimed that our lawsuit is frivolous. Hassan has claimed it. They have
vexatious litigants.
Fuck it, I'm saying it.
And you sure did say it.
claimed it. Everybody who is trying to support them, Ian Idubs has claimed it. They say it's frivolous. Why then have you declined to state, do the minimum amount of work in your case to explain it? Here, first affirmative defense for.
They're saying like no conclusion is required, like there's no required response, they lack sufficient knowledge or information. Yet Denims, Kaceytron, Frogan had so much to say, bro. So much slander, so much misinformation. But when it comes to this, nothing. They don't know anything. Interesting. The most interesting.
Fair use. Complaint in each and every cause and action set forth fails to state facts sufficient to constitute a cause of action upon which relief can be granted. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. This is their defense. This is their answer on fair use.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. Their defense, Command V. Well, if you're on Mac. Their defense, if you're on Windows, Control V.
Plaintiff's claims are barred in whole or part by the equitable doctrine of unclean hands. I'll tell you, the only unclean hands here are yours, bucko. I resent that. That is actually a legal doctrine. I'm just being silly. Yeah, it's just copy pasting. I mean, it's unbelievable. The lack of effort that's gone into this. So that's what it is by their attorney. Besides what's written here, the most interesting takeaways are these, and I'll tell you. Kind of as I touched on, one, they did the laziest, cheapest response, and they failed to tell their story. They had a
well, I mean, it looks like it was the easiest response because legitimately it was Control-C, Control-V.
chance to respond, and they did not take it. The biggest thing to me is they failed. They had the opportunity to file a motion to dismiss. This is what you do when you believe you have a frivolous case. You're telling the judge,
Again, I don't think this case is so frivolous, especially on the factor of, again, they're pretty dead to rights, like on the merit for Ethan to go out and seek this lawsuit, like malicious lawsuit against them, you know what I'm saying, or to sue them. Yeah, again, all the quotes within the actual lawsuit itself, bruh, like malicious copyright cooked. But like, yeah, they're going in on this and saying like, yeah, they lack the info, they don't have all this stuff. Like it just doesn't follow, it doesn't compute. Like y'all were saying all these things, but now when it comes to this, you're dead silent. And of course they tell you all the time, yo, when it comes to legal Jones, hush hush. But Denims wasn't doing that at first. Frogan was doing that until until we get around till now, and then yeah, till find out she didn't have lawyers and she was trying to run away from this show. Like, yo, I don't see how any of this is computing. Like, how do you know nothing? How is it that you lack the information for some of these? How is that possible?
this is so frivolous that I'll just set the facts straight for you, and it's so obviously fair use that we don't need to waste anyone's time going any further than this. They did not file a motion to dismiss, which means the attorney looked at the facts and considered them all, that they all have merit, and that there was no way in hell a judge would grant a motion to dismiss. That is essentially a confession, a concession that the lawsuit is not frivolous. Because if it was, they would have filed motions to dismiss. That would have been a no-brainer. They didn't do it. The lawyer said, let's not even do
Or maybe not frivolous enough.
that. Let's save money, right? You have no chance of winning. So that's interesting. The other interesting thing about this is that they did not file any counterclaims. We were expecting them to try to file counterclaims, which means they would include in their response some ridiculous trumped up defamation or something, just something to give them leverage.
Yeah, oh, okay, I get what he's saying. So basically the way I'm interpreting, like, it would be like, oh, nah, bro, basically do what they normally do. They take what you're claiming against them or what you're saying, totally misconstrue that boy, and then try to lie, like, you know, lie in your name, slander you, yada, yada, this, that, and third. But except they're doing this in a legal sense. So it's like, oh, yeah, you claimed this against, you know what I'm saying, my client, that they did this to maliciously, you know what I'm saying, steal your copyright. Or, like, you know what I'm saying, steal your video. But actually, no, they didn't. And this here is considered slander. This is defamation against my client or whatever because you're claiming this and this is not, like, I can see that. Okay.
Against us to be like, oh, see, you know, they have to deal with this. Or you want to negotiate? Well, we're going to drop our counterclaim now and you have to drop your lawsuit, this and that. They didn't even do that because here's the truth. Because either their lawyer is lazy, which might be, I don't know. Or he was like, I don't see any legitimate cause.
This was the thing that Les was saying. That even with, like, you know what I'm saying, Frost LLP or, like, Benjamin Cassis, no matter how good of a lawyer they are, like, yo, it's still technically, like, split time. Like, the Benjamin Cassis, well, he got to cover, like, Denims' individual lawsuit and then Kaceytron's individual lawsuit. So within going through both their jobs, it obviously splits the amount of time he can work on both individual lawsuits. So, therefore, kind of showing the results. Copy-paste. Copy-paste for the lawsuit response. Excellent.
It would just be a waste of time. But the thing is, they both each raised $40,000, so they have $80,000 in the coffer, the war coffers here. And this is the cheapest, laziest dog shit response you can imagine. No motion to dismiss and no counterclaims filed. So this to us is a total flawless victory. No motion to dismiss, no counterclaims.
Said, ooh, a landslide? It's not 100%. Listen, Uncle Mindset, Legal Mindset, tell it, it's not 100%. But I can't lie to you. It looks like their percentages just keep going up.
No case even set forth in the complaint. Lazy, horrible, dog shit. Straight L's all around, guys. I'll be honest. Me and my lawyer were both pretty floored when we saw this because we were accepting these guys to go to war. They were talking a big game. Then
Yeah, they do a lot of talking and a lot of bullshitting.
Denims was just raising money a few months ago to sue me for defamation. What happened?
Oh yeah, the like, what's it? Public retraction of a false statement or something like that. Yeah, what happened to that GoFundMe? Button didn't even play. Trying to do me dirt. Hold on. There we go.
What happened? You were so tough. You were talking all kinds of shit. You started to GoFundMe. What happened to this? You had a chance and you didn't even write in a counterclaim. What a coward loser you are. What a coward loser you are, Denims. No counterclaim, no motion to dismiss. Fat L's. Cringe, you lose, I win. So what happens now?
Yeah, you know what's coming up. Because Ethan just said it.
Lelouch Britannia commands you. Obey me, subjects! Obey me, world!
You lose, and I win. Not me. I'm not winning shit except for farming these motherfuckers. But anyway, sidebarring that, in the words of Ethan, yeah, Yoko and Soy Dub, same energy.
I just want to ask him if you've always been shitting your pants.
No. They definitely lose. They all lose. They do. Unfortunate. Super. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit got me crying. But yeah, nah. Seriously. Lelouch Britannia commands you.
It goes to basically it goes to discovery, and then after that, it goes to summary judgment, which is where I think we're going to win. Which is essentially after discovery, they have to actually write a response to the charges to the judge, and then we get to respond to it, and then they respond to our response, and that is basically putting it in the judge's hands to say, hey.
Yo, I just noticed I'm sitting here like the whole time, you know, just listening, you know, saying keep a game on this. Yo, is this Charlie's background? I just realized this shit. I like legitimately am just now peeping game. I'm like, wait a minute. Why the fuck does this background look familiar? Wait, is this Charlie's shit?
Hey, we're looking for a summary judgment. We don't need to go to trial. And I think that's where we're going to win. Personally, that's basically it. There's really nothing much to say about it. It's just a total and complete loss. They talked a big game. They had a chance to show it. They failed to level.
They ain't step on the court. They ain't hop on the jump, bro. They stayed on the bench.
Any defense, any criticism at all. They've conceded that this lawsuit is not frivolous. And the fun is only going to begin now. So I don't know that they're going to be able to copy paste their way out of this one, but we shall see. I just basically want to know why Denims didn't sue me for defamation like she promised. I was really hoping to have a good time with her, and was looking forward to that claim of defamation. But you had a chance right here. I gave her golden opportunity. No motion to
I don't think it was too golden for her, though.
dismiss. No counterclaims. Why is that? Lazy, dumb, losers.
Idiot, loser, dumbass.
No money spent. Raised money. Didn't spend the money. That's interesting, isn't it?
Nah, we was really about to be asking them questions with Frogan! Because, like, yeah, if she ain't hire a lawyer again, legal defense fund. But no legal defense. Personal expenses in the description.
That's all I have to say about that. So we will stay tuned. Again, this is Denims and Kaceytron. Frogan's response will be due in a couple of weeks. So we will enjoy that. Although I expect it to look something like this. But she has a different attorney. So who knows? Maybe we'll see a different strategy unfolding. But me and my lawyer, we honestly expected too much. We expected way too much of our opponents. We thought for sure there would be a counterclaim at least, right?
Yeah, it's like, instead of underestimating them, Ethan overestimated it. And he sure did, because it looks like... It just looks like... It ain't looking too good for Denims, Kaceytron, and Frogan. But it hasn't this whole entire time.
But, they're dumb, and they're bad, and they're wrong. And they don't have the facts, they don't have the law, and also they're hateable. That's 3 strikes.
And also they're hateable. I mean, true.
You're out, ladies. This is Ethan Klein, taking a hit of my inhaler, and saying, I'll see you guys in the next one.
It's looking like real struggle.
Bomboclat!
Bomboclat, Ethan!
That shit hits good.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all already know, of course. Shout out to the love with Ethan, Elo, who crowned the pot, of course. Zay Street fam. You already know, baby. They officially responded to my lawsuit. It's bad. Denims, Kaceytron. Of course, you got those. Trill can't even do his own outro. Trill is a dumbass. If you guys would like to watch the OG video, down in the description, the first link. Share the love with it again. You know what I'm saying? Ethan, her crew on the pod, and the fam, the H Street fam. And final page of conjecture. Well, honestly, there's not that much to give. Like, as so far as it's looking, Denims and Kaceytron have copy-paste lawsuits or lawsuit responses, and that's not looking too hot. Again, as Ethan was saying, him and his lawyer, they just sitting here laughing all the way to the bank. Because I ain't gonna lie, I know his attorney definitely is, because generational wealth ensues. Because, yeah, as far as this lawsuit is looking, it's not looking, again, how it's always been looking this whole time. Not in favor of Denims, Kaceytron, and Frogan. And we're going to have to see with Frogan, but I wouldn't get your hopes up or hold your breath on her job being any better than theirs. But again, other than that, like I said, you know what I'm saying, shout out Ethan, whole crew on the pod. Keep repeating it, never beat an H3 orbiter / laser allegations. And the H3 fam. And I'm finna catch y'all on the flip, baby. Peace.
Thank you.